Hi, so let's today focus on PaloAlto Lab 1.4. What we will learn in this lab? Scenario. We have a VLAN 10, VLAN 20, inter-VLAN routing we have configured over the router sub-interface VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Now, without changing any logical configuration, right? Without shifting any gateway on any other device, I want to filter the traffic through my Palo Alto firewall. How we will achieve this? With the help of virtual wire mode deployment. Okay. So what we will do? We will add Palo Alto firewall between the router and switch. We'll connect Ethernet 1/1 port to the router, Ethernet 1/2 to the switch. Okay. No, then next, another requirement, I want to segregate the VLAN 10 and 20 traffic on the firewall. It should not take the same path, Ethernet 1/2, Ethernet 1/1, right? The traffic should get segregated. In the log, I should see the traffic is coming from LAN going towards the LAN outside, then again reaching back to the same firewall, but it should receive on the outside DMZ and then inside DMZ. How we will do it? In the last lecture, we saw that we can have the virtual wire deployment and can pass a multiple VLAN traffic with VLAN ID. But I don't want to use VLAN ID over here. What I want? I want a sub interface for inside LAN, or I can say LAN, or sub interface for the DMZ. So what will be the approach first? Let's talk about the approach. First, we will configure the parent interface virtual wire. Then we'll create a two sub interface. One Ethernet 1/1.10, right? Why? Because we have VLAN ID 10. Then we will create a then we'll create VLAN 10 ID on Ethernet 1/2. Sorry. Okay. So then we'll create a one more sub interface on Ethernet 1/2.10, and we'll make the virtual channel between the sub interface Ethernet 1/1.10 and Ethernet 1/2.10 for VLAN 10 traffic, means LAN traffic. Next, we will configure two more sub interface. One Ethernet 1/1.20, right? And Ethernet 1/2.20, and we'll make another third virtual wire for the DMZ 1/1.20 and DMZ 1/2.20. What about a zone? Understand? Whenever your switch receive the traffic from the LAN interface, it will tag that frame with VLAN ID 10, and VLAN ID 10 associate to Ethernet 1/2.10 interface. Then it will be processed by zone LAN inside, and it's a virtual wire. Now in this virtual wire, you have a Ethernet 1/2.10 and another pair Ethernet 1/1.10. Simply once it receives the traffic on zone LAN inside, it will out from LAN outside. You can clearly see it in the monitor logs. Is it clear? Right? When traffic receive on the router will look at a destination IP address, route lookup, and then it will forward back that traffic towards the same firewall, but with VLAN ID tag 20. When firewall receive the frame with VLAN ID 20, it will process by Ethernet 1/1.20, and Ethernet 1/1.20 is a part of DMZ outside, right? So, and it will inspect the traffic, it will look at the security policy. If it is allowed, it will pass that traffic towards its peer interface, Ethernet 1/2.20, which is DMZ inside. Clear? So, wherever you try to ping from VLAN 10 to server VLAN 20, you will see two logs. One log LAN inside to outside, then again LAN a DMZ outside to DMZ inside. Okay, so don't let's not waste time. Let's go and configure the router, switches, and the firewall. Done. Chalo. Let's configure. Let's first configure the router. All right. Okay. So let me go to the router configuration terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/0. No shutdown as it's a parent interface, and then Ethernet 1 slash not Ethernet interface fast Ethernet 0/0 dot 10 encapsulation dot 1Q10 IP address 10.1.1.1 255.255.255.0 exit. Create a one more sub interface for 20 interface fast Ethernet 0/0 dot 20, then encapsulation dot 1Q 20 and IP address 10.2.2.1 255.255.0. That's it, guys. I have done with the router configuration. Show IP interface brief. Here you go. Okay, perfect. WR mem. Come on, quick. Now go to the PaloAlto firewall, right? And then we'll configure the switch. On the PaloAlto firewall, what did I say? First, create a virtual wire for a parent interface. But before that, let's convert or let's change the interface type to the virtual wire. So go to the Ethernet 1/1 interface type virtual wire. Click OK. We'll configure the security zone and virtual wire later. Ethernet 1/2 change zone to the virtual wire. Then go to the, let me just zoom out 150%. Okay. Then we'll go to the virtual wire, right? Under virtual wire, I will add new virtual wire, right? And here I will name as a physical interface. Okay, interface 1/1 and 1/2. Tagging doesn't require. Why? Because we are going to create a sub interface on the firewall, and sub interface itself has a VLAN tag. Okay, done. Okay, then go to the your interface. Create a sub interface now. Click, select the Ethernet 1/1 interface. Add a sub interface. Here you can see right on the bottom, right? Add sub interface, and here you can configure the Ethernet 1/1.10 VLAN ID 10, right? And we will see virtual wire, not now. Okay. Click OK. Create one more sub interface on Ethernet 1/2.10. Okay. Or 1/2. Add sub interface dot 10 VLAN ID 10 and OK. Done. So we have so far done for the VLAN 10. Now go to the virtual wire. Next step, add vwire VLAN 10 interface Ethernet 1/1.10 Ethernet 1/2.10, right? Do not add the your VLAN tagging. Not required, guys. Not at all required. Okay. Now go to the interface. Okay, and now create the sub interface for DMZ. Create sub interface for DMZ. So click 1/1, right? Because we have the physical interface 1/1 on which we will configure the Ethernet 1/1.20. Okay, so add sub interface 20 VLAN ID 20. Click OK. Ethernet 1/1.20. That's correct. And VLAN ID 20, not 10. My bad. Okay. Then here create a sub interface 20 and VLAN ID 20. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now go to the virtual wire and create one more virtual wire for the VLAN 20. Add, then vwire VLAN 20, right? Ethernet 1/1.20, Ethernet 1/2.20. Perfect. Clear. Understood. 3 virtual wire. One for physical, one for VLAN 10, another for VLAN 20. Total 3 virtual wire. Now guys, go and create a zone, security zone. Add zone, name, LAN inside, LAN inside, and type is virtual wire. And we will add Ethernet 1/2.10, right, as a member. Ethernet 1/2.10 as a member. Okay, we'll create a one more zone, name LAN outside, type virtual wire, and we will configure interface Ethernet 1/1.10 as a outside member. Okay, so select interface Ethernet 1/1.10 as a outside member. Clear? Then we will have a one more zone name DMZ inside, then type virtual wire, and inside, for inside we have the sub interface Ethernet 1/2.20. Okay, so we'll go back to the configuration and select Ethernet 1/2.20, right? One more the zone with the fourth one, DMZ outside. Okay, DMZ OUT outside. Okay, type is virtual wire and select interface Ethernet 1/1.20. What about the physical interface? Not required. Physical interface will not be part of any security zone. Whenever physical interface receive the frame with the particular VLAN ID, either 10 or 20, it will process the traffic over the sub interface. Okay, clear? Now, what is next? Of course, security policy, guys. Come on, right? You have to allow the security policy. Now, when you create a zone, you have to select the zone type virtual wire. Whenever you select the interface, you have to select the interface type virtual wire. But what about the security policy? Do you have any option to select the virtual wire? No. Security policy common across for all the type. Clear? Done. Add security policy. Name LAN to DMZ. LAN to DMZ. Source zone your LAN inside and LAN outside. For the if server initiate the traffic to the LAN. So I'm going to cover the both the policies, right? LAN to server, and if server initiate traffic from server to LAN, DMZ to LAN, right? So we'll configure the both. Destination, right? Then LAN inside, again same LAN outside. Okay. If you want to add, you can add over here, right? DMZ inside, DMZ outside, but don't do that, right? Okay. My bad. LAN inside to LAN outside, then traffic will go. Correct. Yes, yes, it's fine. LAN inside to LAN outside, LAN inside to LAN outside. Okay. Then application, let's configure the ping, because we can only test this via ping. So we will let it be as a any, and click OK. Another policy we will configure DMZ to LAN. Okay. Uh, source zone, DMZ inside, DMZ outside. Destination zone, DMZ inside, DMZ outside. See, guys, you can manipulate the you can configure the policy as per your requirement. That's not a problem, right? Application ping, because I want to show you here traffic logs, right? What you will see it in the logs in terms of zone, service, and let it be any, and okay. Now we have a LAN to DMZ policy. Basically, when I say LAN to DMZ, it should be LAN inside, right? LAN inside, LAN outside, DMZ in outside, DMZ outside, like this actually, right? Policy is flow wise. Okay. Then let's go and commit the configuration. And mean the time, right? We will configure the switch. We will configure the switch. Okay. LAN switch, um, clear terminal, right? And here enable configuration terminal, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, then exit interface gigabyte 0/0/0/0/0, then switch port trunk encapsulation dot 1q switch port mode trunk, then switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10 and 20. Perfect. Then configure interface gigabyte 1 slash 0 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10. Okay. And then interface gigabyte 1 slash 1 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 20. Okay. Clear. Perfect. I have done with the configuration. And let's see the commit status successful. Okay. So let's initiate the ping from. And guys, one more thing. Do you need a routing on the firewall? No. Why? Because we have configured this firewall as a virtual wire but in a transparent mode. Virtual wire doesn't support routing, VPN, and device management. Right? NAT, security policy, everything will get supported. That's not an issue. Even though you can impose the security profiles as well. Hmm? Chalo. Let's move on. Initiate the traffic from the LAN PC1 to your DMZ server 10.2.2.10. Okay? Yeah. See, guys, I'm able to ping. Right? Is it really going via PaloAlto firewall or is it directly going via switch? Let's see. Go to the logs. Right? In the logs, you can see, yes. Okay, these are the yesterday logs, guys. Because before start video, yesterday I have tested this scenario. Okay. So yes, here you go, guys. Right. First log you can see the traffic coming from the LAN interface. Traffic is received on LAN inside. Ingress means receiving interface Ethernet 1/2.10. Egress via its peer interface 1/1.10 and LAN outside. Source 10.1.1.10 and destination 10.2.2.10. Okay. What about the DMZ? Of course, because as you say, Prasad, the traffic will, right, the traffic will hit on the router and router again send back the traffic towards the same firewall with but VLAN ID 20. Can you please show the logs? Okay, wait, it will take time. Now it should be DMZ outside to DMZ inside. Okay, it will take time. Okay, let me again initiate a ping or we can wait for some time. Definitely will come because we have a policy. See, for first hit LAN inside to LAN outside, we have rule hit LAN to DMZ. Right, when it will come, the traffic will come down to the router from router to again firewall. It will hit by the DMZ to LAN policy. Okay, see guys, now here you go. Right, the same policy. Right, not the same policy. The logs for the same traffic. DMZ outside was it receive on DMZ outside. Interface receiving interface Ethernet 1/1.20. Ethernet 1/2.20 and DMZ inside. So, guys, even though if you have a virtual wire right deployment, don't worry, you can segregate the traffic based on the your zone or your sub interface. See, means initially what you thought we can only configure the virtual wire between the virtual physical interface. No, if you have a sub interface, still you can configure the virtual wire for the sub interface as well. But we make sure your parent must be a part of virtual wire. Then only sub interface will be a part of different virtual wire. If you directly configure the sub interface on the virtual wire, you will get an error that parent interface does not part of any virtual wire. You have to clear, right? Hope you like this video. Stay tuned. Happy learning.